Patriots training camp rolling right along. The team has 6 practices under its belt. The offense under the microscope as they try to catch up to the defense. Adrian Phillips, though, paying Mac Jones a big compliment after what he's been seeing from the quarterback as of late.
Just a lot of confidence. I mean, Mac just out here balling, doing his thing, basically with all the quarterbacks. But when you see it out there, you see the QBs kind of talking a little bit. You know, you can feel them kind of getting their confidence back, and you love to see that.
All right, time to deep dive. Patriots day 6 of training camp. We have our Patriots insiders here with us. Tom E. Curran, Perry and Amina Smith is here as well. All right, everybody today, if you checked is it the Twitter machine now, or does the X machine or whatever it's called?
Check the myriad social platforms.
Yes, if you look at all of them, you'll see that everybody really liked the Patriots today.
Did it look as good as everybody said it did, or should we temper our expectations because they were shirts and shorts?
It's funny. Sometimes you look around the table at dinner and say, how's your food? And some people are saying, it's delicious. And other people are saying, mine's not that great. I was not overwhelmed by what I saw in practice today. It's a shells practice, no pads on. There were some plays made. I think Devontae Parker made the best catch of camp so far. But overall, I thought there was a little bit of lack of separation that we've seen, and the ball's not coming out on time. But to me, Phil, maybe you have that was me. Do you have a different?
Yeah, I thought it was a mixed bag. I really did. I thought the offense did show some progress in one regard. When they went into the red zone, they completed 3 of their 4 attempts in there. That's a pretty good hit rate when you get into that condensed area and all those windows really tighten up, because the offense had struggled inside the 20 at times in camp previous to today. But they hit a nice touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson, another to Hunter Henry. So there are signs of progress there, but there's still plenty of room for improvement, too. Let's not make it sound like they were the 07 Patriots today.
Amina, as these two guys are talking, all I can think of is, oh, man, the fact that so many people had such a positive reaction makes me wonder, how bad did things look before this? And, like, what kind of progression is this team making?
I don't even want to be the Debbie Downer here, but, I mean, what I read was that the pass rush was feasting on the offensive line. So you say all this good stuff. I mean, I did see good stuff about Mac Jones out there on the field at training camp today. But, I mean, I take a look at the defense. Marte Mapu getting behind the line of scrimmage. Jack Jones, he almost had a pass breakup in training camp today. So I take a look at that defense, and they're still winning those battles out there on the field. But just like Tom and Phil are saying, it's like, okay, there are small improvements on the offense, but nothing to really kind of gloat about, you know, when you talk about these notes from training camp. It's like, there's still things to worry about there.
It's not abhorrent by any stretch of the imagination.
Not like last year.
No, it's, you know, it's 65-35 to the defense. It's not like 90-10.
It's not close to last year. And what I would say, in addition to some of the small wins that I thought the offense did have today, we're seeing some really positive body language from these guys, too, which I do read into. I do.
Well, we're going to get to that right now, because one of the key pieces of that offense is Hunter Henry. He was asked about how the players on that side of the ball are grasping things under Bill O'Brien. The offensive coordinator has already made a strong impression on the Patriots tight end.
They're throwing a lot at us, and we're trying to throw a lot at our defense too. And they're throwing, you know, it's kind of a daily battle of who's going to get who, and so it's a lot of fun. And going against guys like AP, Doug, Pep, Mills, I mean, that's a solid group right there, and it makes us a lot better. OB does like just an amazing job of, you know, presenting things, how we can improve things that we're doing well. But attacking it in a way to just continue to take day by day. It's fun to be in a room with him, and we're learning a lot.
Yeah, Phil, and there seems to be, as you talked about, just a positivity, a confidence in this offense that we didn't see last year. But I think there's also a respect on the defensive side. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Adrian Phillips who talked about the variety that they're seeing from this Bill O'Brien-led offense. So there just seems to be a different way that this team's carrying themselves this year.
Those, to me, are the 2 most important things that we've learned about the Patriots offense to this point in camp, more so than any completion percentage numbers or red zone effectiveness numbers that you may see out there on all those social media platforms. It's number 1. It's the confidence that we're seeing from this group. It's the little celebrations that they do have when they have some success in the red zone, because they know how important that area of the field is. Mac Jones seeking out guys that have caught touchdowns for high fives. Hunter Henry pumping his fist, talking talking to Mac Jones about how things went in between series. It's that, but it's also that variety that Adrian Phillips spoke to today, because we're already seeing them, Tom, dip into all sorts of different buckets. Yesterday was a lot of quick game, passing game, a lot of screens to the perimeter. Today, a lot of slip screens to the backs and the tight ends. A little bit different look there. We've seen the play action game. We've seen, I think, some foundation laying for RPOs later. We saw some run game yesterday when the pads came on. There's a lot there already to this offense. It's going to be a much more diverse attack than it was a year ago, and you can see it and you can hear it. The offensive players are buying in. Speaking broadly on
just the tenor and the body language, it's interesting. Think about this. I said it was tepid. They spent some time in the middle of the field, and it wasn't great. But Phil's point is a good one. They spent 3 or 4 practices on red zone stuff, and when they went back, did review, ran it, they had great success. That's what you're supposed to do in anything you learn. Try it, don't do great at it, come back later, and you've improved.
How else is Bill O'Brien different?
This is cool. This is something that I really want to key on, because when you're on a flight and it starts getting bumpy, someone once told me you don't get nervous until the flight attendant looks nervous. And I look at Bill O'Brien when plays don't go well, and he's not freaking out. This is a guy who earned the nickname Teapot for his temperamental ways and ability to get hot in a hurry. He is completely placid. He stands off to the side. He holds his walkie-talkie up. He watches the play, and then he calls the next play. There's no gesticulating. There's no arm flailing. There's no everybody's in the soup like they were last year with all kinds of advice. I think he has been such a steady guiding hand. And that, to me, if he was freaking out, I think I would be disconcerted. But he doesn't even register.
I mean, when you hear these things about what Bill O'Brien's already done to the offense, does it make you feel a little more comfortable that maybe these things that are works in progress early on will get ironed out?
It definitely gives me confidence that this offense will take a step forward, because, one, they have an actual offensive coordinator that knows what they're doing in that position. But just like you guys mentioned, what Adrian Phillips talking about this morning after practice, the fact that they're adding wrinkles. He said that he could tell that Bill O'Brien is watching the film on defense, which is actually what you're supposed to do if you're the offensive coordinator, and doing different things the next day. So it does give me a little bit of confidence knowing that Bill O'Brien is trying different things and figuring out what works for this offense for them to take a step forward.
All right. Well, Amina, thank you. One of the, digs on the team today was that they practiced in shorts again. Patriots padded football practice did not last very long. After just one day of wearing pads and a rash of injuries, Patriots practiced without pads today. Belichick was asked about balancing the physicality of padded practices with trying to make sure everyone stays safe.
Try to balance that, yeah. Talk to the players, show them examples of what we want, what we don't want. Just keep talking about it so everybody understands. I think, generally, I think the players do a good job of practicing. I think our practices have been, good.
Okay, I know that our great producer Dave Trubin told me which one of you this bothered the most, Phil or Tom. Which one of you was most bothered by the fact that they're like one padded practice in 6 days?
I'm not bothered by it.
I can't keep it all straight, Phil.
I'm not bothered by it, but I do find it interesting, because I've always thought of Bill Belichick as somebody who believes in practice execution equals game reality, and if you're healthy enough to practice, you're out there to practice. And he's told us many times the stories of when he coached with the Giants, and they used to be in pads every day and on Friday and hitting 2 days before. It's a different world now. And when you talk to people that are close to Bill Belichick and have worked closely under Bill Belichick, Nick Caserio a couple of years ago at the Combine, I can remember him telling me he is the most adaptable person I've ever met in this game. And I think some of these things, sports science things, training related, health related, nutrition related stuff is stuff that he really has put a lot of stock into the last couple of years, because he understands nothing will sink his team faster than having an unhealthy team. Even a team that might not tackle all that well because they didn't do it in camp. As long as they're healthy, they will at least have a chance. I think that's how he started to view it.
Tommy Giles joining this conversation. Does it bother you, worry you at all that they are not super physical in practice? I feel like, to be honest, it's just like the way the NFL is going now.
Yeah, it is. And I think to Phil's point, depth would be one of the issues there, but also they probably want the offense to feel as confident as possible. And the easiest way to do that is just go out there in shorts and T-shirts and do it that way. No one's jamming you up at the line of scrimmage. And I think right now they're just trying to build confidence with an offense that's behind the defense at this point in training camp.
Yeah, some of this stuff is install. Okay, we've done it in OTAs. We've had meetings on it. Now let's go rep it in full speed, 11 on 11, without hitting. And then you can try and compete. I think also they're going to beat the pus out of each other beginning that week in Tennessee. It's going to happen the next week in Green Bay. It's going to happen during preseason games. It's probably going to happen Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then next week with Houston. They did this last year as well, where they took the second day after padded practices off. So I would imagine that they're going to start whacking.
Yeah, how much can we even really tell, Phil, when they're in shorts and T-shirts and they don't have, I mean, until they get into those joint practices with the Titans and the Packers and they get into an actual preseason game, is there a ton that you can tell about the progress that they're making?
I think there is. I really do. I mean, everything, you have to take into with its proper context, right? Like, I think in some ways the offense wants the pads on, because when they don't have the pads on, well, the defense then knows you're probably throwing. And then you're continuously dropping back with the defense understanding you have to throw it here, even though you're at the 5-yard line and you got nowhere to go with the football. And that is actually advantage defense. So I do think there are things you can read into every day. As Bill Belichick says, every day is a big day for everybody. And I believe that. I think there are noteworthy aspects to every single practice that we'll be out there for.
That's excellent. I mean, it's a little long for a tattoo, Curran, but I think it'd be like a
Ted Lasso-esque.
Nice bumper sticker, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. From the latest news from training camp, check out the Patriots Talk podcast with Tommy Curran and Phil Perry. You can scan the QR code on the screen. You can also find it on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. It is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more